tell the people home, I feel so safe tonight with all this police protection courtesy of G Unit.
Fat Joe is man. Pussy boy.
50 Cent just fired back, and it's wild. He finally broke his silence on that jaw-dropping claim that Fat Joe tried to get him taken out, and now Joe's being dragged into a major RICO case that could actually back that up. This ain't just throwback rap beef anymore. This is serious talk about a murder plot. The lawsuit accuses Joe of running his whole crew like a straight-up crime ring, and there's even hints of some disturbing personal stuff being whispered about. People online are calling it PDF-level creepy. And get this, the one dropping all the dirt, it's Joe's own hype man, the dude who stood next to him for over 10 years. So where's 50 in all this? You remember the heat between him and Joe back in the day. Now this lawsuit is claiming Joe tried to make a move on him not once, but multiple times. Only thing that saved 50, his security was locked in like Navy SEALs. Nobody was getting through. But here's the curveball. 50 finally responded, and his version, way different. He's brushing it off like it wasn't that deep. Fans are confused. Why would he downplay something so heavy unless there's some next level stuff happening in the background? We're about to dive into this RICO case, 50's reaction, and how this might connect all the way back to the G Unit versus Terror Squad beef. The names, the timelines, the claims, it's about to get explosive. Some folks online are saying this might be even worse than what Diddy's facing right now. And here's why. It all comes straight from a lawsuit that's blowing up fast. Fat Joe's ex-hype man, Terrence Todd Dixon, just dropped a bomb, claiming Joe didn't just want 50 silenced.
What happened, Daddy?
It's Fat Joe's record. I listened to it. It hurt me. I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't care about the money. I care about the money.
He wanted him gone. According to Dixon, Fat Joe ordered a hit on 50 Cent during the peak of their beef, and the plan was to make it look like a robbery gone wrong. The actual lawsuit even states that Joe planned and attempted the premeditated murder of Curtis 50 Cent Jackson sometime between late 2006 and early 2007. The suit says Joe was living in Miami when he got word that 50 had been spotted at a New York venue. That's when, according to Dixon, Joe made the call to take him out. But the only thing that stopped it, 50 was rolling deep with top-tier security, the kind you don't mess with. So the shooters backed off. Even crazier, the lawsuit claims Joe literally told people to put a bag on 50's head, and when it didn't happen fast enough, he lost it. Dixon says Joe was shaking, freaking out, and showing he was dead serious. This wasn't just rap talk. He was allegedly tracking 50's every move using his tour schedule and trying to catch him slipping in public. But here's the twist that shocked everyone. When 50 finally spoke out, fans thought he'd explode, but nope. Instead, he posted something totally unexpected. He called the whole thing a setup and even low-key defended Joe, saying it felt like a stick-up. Then he dropped a pic of himself and Joe with a track by Young Buck playing in the background. In the caption, 50 posted, "Prices on my head," then added, "These baseless accusations and claims are not credible. I'm sorry Joe has to endure the public scrutiny and damage to his reputation. This is a stick-up. I wrote this hook. I should have kept this one." Fans were stunned. Nobody could tell if 50 was trolling or actually defending Fat Joe. One fan even said, 50's playing chess. If he plays it like this, Joe will stay loyal because he knows it's real, it's sincere. But here's the thing. This isn't just some random rumor off the street. These claims are coming from someone who was deep in Joe's inner circle for years, and he's painting Joe like a full-blown mob boss. And believe it or not, the alleged hit on 50 might not even be the darkest part of this case. Here's where it takes a chilling turn. Dixon claims Fat Joe was involved in inappropriate relations with underage girls. He even says Joe paid for a medical procedure for a 15-year-old. This lawsuit was filed in federal court in New York, and it's so intense, it reportedly includes a trigger warning. The filing is 157 pages long, stacked with disturbing accusations. Dixon says he was forced into humiliating situations under constant watch, made to perform under threats, pressured non-stop, and warned that if he didn't obey, he'd get left behind in other countries. He even claims he was pushed into over 4,000 acts just to stay in Joe's so-called enterprise. But one of the most shocking parts, Dixon accuses Fat Joe of being involved with young women who were not legal adults at the time. These are not just wild accusations, they're part of a serious, federal-level legal case. Dixon claims he personally saw Fat Joe around girls who were underage, and now those claims are part of a chilling lawsuit.
When I was with him, he would go, "We everywhere, you never there." And it's because I was already in the arenas. So what would I be doing back in the nightclub?
Yeah.
At that point.
3 individuals are listed under the name Jane Doe, and each story gets more disturbing than the last. Jane Doe number 1, a teenage girl from New York City with Dominican roots. According to the lawsuit, she was given money, clothes, and even had her phone bill covered, all allegedly in exchange for spending time with Joe in ways that cross serious lines. Then there's Jane Doe number 2, a white girl who wasn't a U.S. citizen. Dixon says she met Joe after a concert overseas when she was still underage. He claims Joe brought her to both Miami and New York multiple times. And these trips, Dixon says they weren't innocent. They happened under shady, questionable circumstances. And it gets even darker. Dixon alleges that because of her young age and appearance, Joe paid for her to get cosmetic skin procedures. That part shocked everyone. But we're not done yet. Jane Doe number 3, Dixon says she was a Latina girl who met Joe while she was still a minor. And Joe, he apparently caught feelings hard, so much that he even thought about leaving his wife. The lawsuit says Joe paid all her bills, brought her along on tour, and even got her an apartment in Florida, just blocks away from the home he shared with his wife at the time. Joe was said to be in his late 30s. To back this up, Dixon reportedly submitted photos of Jane Doe number 3 posing with her high school friends, claiming they were taken while Joe was flying her across state lines. So, is Fat Joe really facing RICO charges over all this? Here's the deal. It's a civil RICO case, not a criminal one. That means the government didn't bring it. Dixon did. But it still falls under the same powerful law used to take down organized crime like the mafia. And to win a civil RICO case, you have to prove this wasn't just one man's actions. It was a group, an entire operation, working together behind the scenes. And that's exactly what Dixon is pushing. He claims Fat Joe wasn't acting alone. He says Joe was running a full-blown criminal enterprise with a crew, and he names 2 key players, Pete Pistol Pete Torres and Richard Rich Blair. According to Dixon, these weren't just background guys. They were major parts of the operation. But here's the thing. For a RICO case to stick, it's not enough to name names. Dixon has to prove there was a pattern of shady activity, something organized, not just one bad move. That means multiple crimes happening over time, fraud, threats, illegal hustles, even extortion. And that's what makes RICO cases hit different. They suggest a whole system, a well-oiled machine behind the scenes. Just saying RICO in a lawsuit, that gets real attention, even in a civil case. Why? Because it signals something big. And the feds, they love when someone on the inside flips and starts talking. And Dixon, he claims he was there through it all. In today's hip-hop world, RICO cases ain't even rare anymore. From YSL to Casanova to Diddy catching heat, law enforcement is already locked in on the industry. So now people are asking the obvious. If all this was going down, why did Dixon stay quiet for so long? 50 Cent already brushed the whole thing off and called it a stick-up. But what made Dixon finally speak up now after all these years? He says it came down to one thing: fear. Fear for his career and for his life. According to him, every time he tried to walk away, things got real tense, like there were serious consequences waiting if he didn't play along. Dixon says threats were made, and that Fat Joe kept him close, not out of loyalty, but because he knew too much. Most people outside the industry might not recognize Terrence Dixon's name, but for 16 years, he was right next to Joe, his hype man, on stage and on tour, city after city. Now, he's flipping the script completely, accusing Joe of running everything through fear, control, and pressure. And that's got people asking, is this really about justice, or is it personal payback? Dixon says their falling out wasn't over one single moment. It was years in the making. He claims he was used, underpaid, and slowly iced out once he stopped following the program. And then it gets even crazier. Dixon dragged Roc Nation into the lawsuit. He's saying they helped Joe keep the whole alleged operation going. In the court docs, he labels Roc Nation a strategic enabler, accusing them of either knowing what was going down or purposely looking away while it happened. Dixon says he was a victim in all of it, forced to work, manipulated financially, threatened when he tried to resist, and even pulled into illegal trafficking moves he says he never agreed to. But here's the part that's got everyone side-eyeing this case: the timing. Why now? Fat Joe's been staying out of the spotlight lately. His name hasn't been caught in any scandals recently. But right when the feds are turning up the heat on other big names in hip-hop like Diddy, this lawsuit drops. So now people are wondering, is Todd Dixon trying to cash in while the block's hot? Or is he finally coming clean after years of silence? And let's be real, this might just be the first domino. The lawsuit is 157 pages deep, packed with claims that go way beyond music. Meanwhile, 50 Cent is brushing the whole thing off like it's a setup, even showing sympathy for Joe, and that's what's got fans completely confused. We all saw how hard 50 Cent came for Diddy. He's already filming a whole doc about those allegations, and nothing's even been proven yet. He even dragged Jay-Z into the mix. throwing shade and clowning that wild Kid Cudi car explosion story. But now, Fat Joe's getting hit with a massive lawsuit, Roc Nation's being named, and suddenly 50's cool and quiet. Where's that same energy? Some fans think 50's just playing it smart, laying low, moving like a chess master. They're saying he's not backing Joe, he's protecting himself. And the real question, how much does 50 really know? Because if Dixon's claims are solid, if Joe did try to take him out and all these other explosive allegations hold up in court, then this is just the beginning. We're talking RICO wars in hip-hop, and now whispers are starting. Some insiders are saying the feds might even turn their eyes on 50 next. Yeah, it's getting that deep. So don't sleep on this. If you're locked in, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you never miss a drop. And let us know in the comments, is 50 staying loyal or just keeping quiet to keep himself out of the line of fire? We'll catch you in the next one.